Hi everyone, I'm the son of a Thai escort. My name is Nick, I'm 18, and I live in Brooklyn with my mom. She works as a waitress in a bar, makes good tips thanks to her looks, and has always done everything to give me a normal childhood. We moved to New York when I was 5, and since then, she never talked about her past. I didn't know who my father was, didn't know what she did before we got here. But I didn't care. Not until I found out the truth. It all started with whispers behind my back. There are always people in school who try to find your weak spot, but until recently, I was never a target. I played basketball, had friends, did well in school. But one day, something changed. People started looking at me differently. Some giggled in the hallways, some whispered, and then the messages started coming. At first, they were anonymous. Then, they weren't. Hey, is your mom still working? How much did she charge per night? Is it normal to be the son of a whore? I didn't understand where it was coming from, until someone sent me a link. It was an old website, seemingly abandoned but still accessible on the internet. It had pictures of women, their names, rates, contact information, and there she was, my mom. Young, beautiful, dressed provocatively, advertised as one of the most expensive girls in a Bangkok escort agency. My heart dropped. I read the description over and over, hoping it was some kind of mistake. But no, it was her. A storm of emotions rose inside me. Shame, anger, disgust, pain. And the worst part? It wasn't just me who knew. The whole internet did. The whole school. The next day, I realized these weren't just rumors anymore. It had become a meme. The pictures had spread through chats, scribbled on lockers. Even teachers looked at me with pity. And then, I snapped. One of the guys, Randy, threw a comment at me. "Dude, can you set us up with your mom?" I punched him. Hard. I didn't think. My fist moved on its own. He fell but didn't stay down. Within seconds, we were fighting in the hallway, the crowd roaring, someone filming on their phone. The teachers broke us up, and I was suspended for 3 days. I came home furious, not knowing what to say to my mom, but she already knew. When I walked in, she was sitting on the couch, pale, holding her phone. Her face looked like I had never seen it before, scared, exhausted, broken. I didn't get a chance to speak first. She did. "You found out?" I nodded. "Did you know this would happen?" Her lips trembled. I hoped it wouldn't. Rage washed over me. "You never told me. I grew up thinking we just had a tough past, but it turns out you were..." She lifted her eyes, full of tears. "I didn't choose this, Nick." I fell silent. She sighed and ran her hands over her face. "When I was 16, I was sold. I ran away a few years later, but I had no choice. It was the only way to survive. I didn't know what to say. There was an emptiness in my chest. And my father..." She shook her head. "I don't know. I couldn't take it and walked out of the house. The next few weeks, I felt like I was falling apart. School was unbearable. The internet never forgets, and every attempt to ignore it only made it worse. I quit basketball, avoided my friends, sat in my room for hours, scrolling through comments and hating myself, my life, my mom. I wanted to disappear. But one evening, Max, my best friend, showed up. He sat across from me, silent for a long time, then said, "How long are you going to keep feeling sorry for yourself?" I clenched my fists. "You don't understand. Do you understand that your mom is the strongest person I know? She got out of hell and gave you a normal life, and you're acting like a child." I stayed silent. He continued, "You know, the internet forgets. So do people at school. In a month, they'll find a new target. But your mom will still be here. And you can either be the son who stands by her, or the one who breaks." His words hit me like a jolt of electricity. For the first time in a long time, I thought not about myself, but about her. About what she had been through. About how she fought for us. I went home and just hugged her. She cried, and I did too. Months passed. School got easier. I took up boxing, got back on the team, learned to ignore the whispers behind my back. My mom still works as a waitress, but now I see her not as a victim, but as a fighter. And I decided that I would be one too, because her past isn't my shame. It's her story, and she survived. But even when things seemed to be falling into place, something still lingered inside me. The hatred was gone, but something else had taken its place. A burning need to know the truth. Who was my father? Why did he leave us? Was he even alive? My mom always said she didn't know, but I felt like she was hiding something. One night, after she had gone to bed, I went into her room and opened her old document drawer. There were our green cards, some papers in English and Thai, photos I had never seen before. Among them, a picture of my mom with a man. Tall, light-skinned, in an expensive suit. He was holding her, and she was smiling, but there was something strange in her eyes. On the back of the photo it said, David Bangkok 2005. I froze. Google gave me nothing. Too little information. But I couldn't just let it go. I took a picture of the photo and showed it to Max. He got curious too, and we started digging. A couple of weeks later, we found something. A business website mentioned a man named David Crawford. Investor, millions of dollars, private jets, living in Los Angeles. I looked at his photo, and something inside me broke. He looked like me. Max swore. Dude, that's definitely him. My head was spinning. If this was true, my father was one of the richest men in the country. Why had he never looked for me? Did he even know I existed? I couldn't just let this go. That night, I packed a bag, grabbed my savings, and bought a bus ticket to Los Angeles. I knew my mom would be furious, but I had to see him. When I arrived, it took me 2 days to find his house. It wasn't just a house, it was a mansion, with gates, security, cameras. I would never be let in, so I came up with a plan. I waited until one of the cars left the property and slipped inside. The yard was huge. Swimming pool, marble pathways, silence. I walked up to the door and rang the bell. A minute later, the door opened, and there he was. The man from the photo. Time had changed him, but his eyes were the same. He looked at me, frowned. Who are you? My throat went dry. My name is Nick. I think I'm your son. His face twisted. What kind of nonsense is this? I showed him the photo. Is this you? This is my mother. She was in Bangkok in 2005. He turned pale but quickly regained composure. I don't know what you're talking about. Leave. He tried to shut the door, but I blocked it with my foot. Just tell me the truth. He hesitated. His eyes darted, hands trembled. Then, he sighed heavily. You shouldn't have come. And then, he invited me inside. The house was like something out of a movie, but I didn't care. We sat in his office, and he told me everything. Yes, he had been with my mother in Bangkok. Yes, he knew what she did for a living. No, he didn't know she was pregnant. If I had known, he ran a hand over his face. I would have helped. I wouldn't have left you. I didn't know whether to believe him. There were so many emotions inside me, anger, resentment, pain. But I also saw regret in his eyes. He asked where my mom was, how she was living, and I told him. He was silent for a long time. Then finally he said, I want to see her. I wasn't sure if this was the right thing to do, but I agreed. We flew back to New York. When I brought him home, my mom opened the door and froze. 1,000 emotions flashed in her eyes: shock, pain, anger. She didn't say a word. David took a step forward. Hello, Lena. She slowly nodded. Why are you here? I found out we have a son. They stared at each other like ghosts from the past. He apologized, told her he didn't know, that he had tried to find her, but it had been impossible. She listened, silent. Then finally, she said, "That doesn't change anything." I clenched my fists. "Why not? He wants to help." She looked at me. "You don't understand. Everything we had is in the past. He wasn't there when you were growing up. He wasn't there when things were hard. It's too late now." David lowered his head. I didn't know what to say. He offered money, support, but my mom refused. "We managed without you." That was the last thing she said. David left. I didn't know if my mom had made the right decision, but I respected it. He didn't insist, and we were back to just the two of us. Months passed, and I realized that the past doesn't define us. I was no longer ashamed of my mom. I understood what it had cost her to give me this life. And I realized that sometimes, family isn't just about blood. It's about the people who stand by you, no matter what. I stopped looking for my father, because my real home was here,